So I'm really excited today because I have this really cool game. It's called How Rude. It's one of those in the jar games. Before I get started, I want to tell you, I work with kids. I love kids. Kids are my passion. Now, the one pattern I've seen time and time again is that a student, because I work in the classroom or even at home, they'll say something like, "Oh my gosh, you're so rude." I want to tell you, I can't tell you how many teachers I've said this to. The student is not being rude. They just don't understand. Kids, they're learning. We've experienced our lives. They're learning. So How Rude is one of these games where I have the cards out for you guys. And we're just going to kind of wing it to show you how we use it. It's very simple. You put it on the desk, a table, the center, whatever the case is. And I'm going to actually, just to prove it, I'm going to pick a random card. And a girl in your class posts the most negative, angry, self-pitying, depressed comments on social media. People laugh at her, call her gloom girl behind her back. What would be a polite way to stand up for this girl and offer her support? So, this is a manners challenge. So, we read that, and now the question is, how would you support your friend? So this is actually, I would do this in a group activity. How would you support your friend? Well, the first thing we teach our girls is positive thinking. So support your friend. For example, let's say one of the negative things was, "Oh, your hair's so ugly." You go to your friend, "Oh my gosh, your hair's so beautiful. Pick something. I love the color. I love the way you style it." And we kind of teach our students how you can turn a negative into a positive. So that was just one. And again, Lisa class discussion or homeschool discussion. So let's split the deck again. And we have, because we're going to do 5 today. Let's see. Do, don't, or duh. Using good texting manners, name one thing that you should definitely do, should definitely not do, or duh, shouldn't even have to ask about. So this is actually I like this one. It's a critical thinking one. So here are some of the ways we would actually discuss it with our students. So for the do, we're very into, it's actually, my students would be very confident in this one. Do is, let's think of 3 to 5, again, depending on the age group, positive words that you can use throughout the text, whether it's nice or happy or something self-esteem or self-boosting. Don't do, obviously it's negative feelings. Don't, again, there is exceptions, and we are very, very into teaching our students. For example, you could say, when you tell a friend, "I don't like you," in a text, that may be hurtful, but you could say, "I don't like that you did," and name something specific. "I don't like that you ripped my paper. Even if it was by mistake, at least you should have let me know." You could say you don't like, but don't be blunt and you say it in a nice way. So that would be a don't. And duh is just state something obvious. And we would talk about, I guess we would analyze what went on today. So for number 3, again, let's split the deck just to prove that I'm going in any order. In 1530, Erasmus wrote, "After wiping your nose, it is rude to spread your handkerchief." And peer, it's gross. "And peer into it as if pearls and rubies might have fallen out of your head. Studying snot is still rude. What other rules might Erasmus suggest today?" I like that one. And I'm actually so happy to have picked it, because when I was going through the deck earlier, I did not see that one. Now, texting. Texting can be both great and super, super rude. And I would actually use this to discuss screen time etiquette. You don't need a screen when you're, let's say, at dinner, when you're with your family, when you're with the friends. So this is really great. Screen time etiquette. Love it. Again, so far we have 3 down, 4. A friend posted a photo on social media of you drooling in your sleep. You're angry and humiliated. Think of a rude way to respond than a polite way. We just said that before. Which way is better and why? That's really funny, because that's what I was saying before. You can tell your friend, "You are so rude. How could you do that to me?" Yeah, that's blunt. That's to the point. But now, let's think about it. what I tell my students is tell yourself, be blunt to yourself. My friend was mean. She did something mean to me. So number one, you're acknowledging the feeling. And number two, okay, now that I know she was mean, this is what she did. Now you go to your friend. What, when you posted that picture on social media of me, you really hurt my feelings. That was like, it wasn't okay what you did. So I really love this because, again, I tell my students, number one, to yourself, acknowledge it. You don't need to think pretty when you're going through your feelings. But when you deal with your friend, that's when there's a right and a wrong way to do it. So totally love this one. And for the last one, let's split it twice just to see what we get. According to Alex, good manners don't erase hurt from the face of the earth, but they do minimize it. Do you think that's true? Are injustices, violence, war, and crime extreme forms of bad manners? Ooh, I actually like that one too, because I think that is really what's going on now. For example, let's say you're in a situation where you are hurting, or gun violence, for example. Let's say gun violence. I know it's in the media a lot lately. So gun violence, I think gun violence should be, whatever your opinions is, this is not a political post, so don't get all too political on me. But anyway, you state your opinion on gun violence. Now, I have a choice. Am I going to hold a peaceful rally in Washington, which is what they did, or am I going to act all wacky and start breaking down buildings and creating more violence? So this would actually, I like this one because this card over here would actually lead to a class debate. So how rude in a jar? I am loving it. I just picked up a few different cards and whoa, they were just mind-blowing amazing. The conversations we can have, the depth. Again, I love getting into deep conversations with my students because you know what? You'd be surprised. Kids are smart. And how rude is just, again, as smart as kids are, they're learning. They don't know things. They're you take an infant, they're experiencing breathing fresh air for the first time. A toddler's experiencing walking for the first time. And yet, by the time they learn to talk, we just assume they know things. Kids don't know things. I keep telling my teachers they don't know things, but they can learn things, and they learn things from you, from being the best you can be. And how rude in a jar is, oh my gosh, it's great. I mean, mind-blown conversations you can have with your kids. Would I recommend it? Totally. If you have How Rude in a Jar, let me know how you guys use it and what you think. And if you don't have How Rude in a Jar, well, this is definitely a game worth getting. Don't forget to check out the description box below because I will definitely leave a link to this because, whoa, the amount of education in just one jar is amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. Totally recommend How Rude in a Jar. And if you do get it, let me know what you think about it. Happy playing!